EIBnet.com. I don't know how many of you are familiar, probably more than I think, with the website Rotten Tomatoes. Do you go to the website Rotten Tomatoes, Snurdly? Well, the only reason I know about it, I'm not acting like you shouldn't know about it. It's a fan movie. Well, no, it's an aggregator site. They aggregate reviews of movies from professional critics and newspapers and cable networks and all that. And the only reason I've never been to the website is just when you buy a movie off iTunes, they show you 5 or 6 reviews from various critics on Rotten Tomatoes. What happened with Rotten Tomatoes? The Batman fans of the movie got so upset with the negative reviews of The Dark Knight. They posted so many hateful comments that Rotten Tomatoes had to shut down their comment section for the first time ever. Nobody had seen the movie except the critics. The critics were ripping the movie to shreds. These Batman fans are like Star Trek fans. They love it. And the critics were ripping it to shreds. Now, the critics ripped it to shreds because it's not at all what the critics hoped or thought it was going to be. The bad guy in the movie is an Occupy Wall Street type. The bad guy in the movie named Bane actually captures the 1% in Gotham, the wealthiest 1%, and puts them on trial and tries to take away everything they've got. He demonizes them. It's along the lines of what's happening in the American political system today, the 1% being demonized. So this villain, but he's got an ulterior motive. He's going to blow the whole town up after he does all this. Nobody's going to be left standing. The 1% are just his vehicle to get where he wants to go. I mean, it really is right on the money, folks. And so the Democrats, if this Hollywood movie going to be a blockbuster villain named Bane, I'm sure that they thought there was going to be something here to take advantage of and in a hype, because the villain's name is Bane and the villain's name is Bane. And you got Romney over there, who's Bane Capital, who they're trying to demonize, and they thought they had something. And I'm not making any of this up. All I did was out these people, which is why they can't write about this without leaving me out of it. But the critics didn't like it for this very reason. The critics are liberals. Most movie, I mean, there's some exceptions, but most movie critics are like anybody else in the media. Sports, news, it doesn't matter. They're all liberals. And to them, Occupy Wall Street, Occupy Wall Street, they were heroes. They tried to make those people out to be the modern incarnation of the Founding Fathers. And really, what they were doing was trying to counter the real image of the Founding Fathers, the Tea Party. The Tea Party was genuine, legit, sprang out of nowhere, bubbled up from the grassroots, and it scared the Democrats. All these average Americans showing up at town hall meetings, upset at the spending in health care. Well, who do you think you come here and talk to me like that? So they created Occupy Wall Street. They manufactured it. They got together with their rent-a-mobs. They put together these things, and the Occupy Wall Street people, we all know what happened: rape, murder, all kinds of crap, destruction of property. I mean, it was an absolute pigsty wherever there was an Occupy camp. Even with that, the media lionized these people. Well, when these critics saw The Dark Knight, they ripped it. And the fans of the movie, without having seen it themselves, didn't like. I mean, apparently the criticism was over the top. And the Batman movie fans want the critics, everybody else, to love the movie as much as they do, love the movies as much as they do. So they just bombarded Rotten Tomatoes. They just let the critics have it. It was unprecedented. They had never had this kind of action in their comment section, so they had to shut down the comment section for the first time ever. This is after the people that run Rotten Tomatoes had pleaded with the commenters. Well, I can't tell you what they asked to do because they said don't be a penis, but they didn't say penis. The people that run Rotten Tomatoes actually asked the commenters, said, please don't be a penis. Nobody had seen the movie yet. So because of this, Rotten Tomatoes is now considering doing away with their comment section altogether, or at least not open the comment section up until after the movie's opened. So people can, but these people got death threats. Not only the people that run Rotten Tomatoes, they got death threats, they got rape threats. There were people threatening to rape them. Now, Rotten Tomatoes is owned by Warner Brothers, which owns the Batman franchise. The movie doesn't open until tomorrow. Now, look at all this pre-pub this movie has gotten simply because I accused accurately the Democrats of trying to make a connection to the villain in Romney. Look at the buzz this minute. The movie didn't need buzz, but it was going to be gangbusters, blockbuster anyway. But look at the additional buzz that they have to be loving out there. Simply because I, El Rushbo, had the courage and the guts to out the Democrats and their intentions with this movie. The Mexican government, ladies and gentlemen, has been working with the United States Department of Agriculture. The Mexican government working with the Obama regime to increase participation in the food stamp program. That's why I read it slowly. You heard me. The USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture, has an agreement with Mexico to promote American food assistance programs, including food stamps among Mexican Americans, Mexican nationals, and migrant communities in America as well. The USDA and the government of Mexico have entered into a partnership to help educate eligible Mexican nationals living in America about available nutrition assistance. The USDA explains this in a brief paragraph on their Reaching Low-Income Hispanics with Nutrition Assistance website. There is a website called Reaching Low-Income Hispanics with Nutrition Assistance. Mexico will help disseminate this information through its embassy and network of approximately 50 consular offices. So the deal is that Mexico is going to help the USDA advertise the food stamp program to low-income Hispanics who need nutrition assistance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it so that the moral and the really compassionate thing would be to educate and inspire people to get to a level where they no longer need this? That's what we conservatives believe in. We would rather count or define compassion by counting the number of people who no longer need food stamps because they have become self-reliant. Now, what's Obama doing here? Obama is advertising now in Mexico for a permanent underclass. A question from the official program observer. Yes, what's the question? Why are we profiling? Because it has been determined that Mexicans will be the new permanent underclass for the Democrat Party. They're made to order. By definition, they arrive poor. We want to keep them that way. How do you keep people poor? You keep them poor by making sure they can't provide for themselves. That's how you prolong poverty. you can profile them for food stamps. Well, I don't know if you're profiling them. You're what you're doing. Well, you say targeting. It's we're offering a benefit. It's a profile is a negative connotation to it, but this was almost like we're singling them out for the benefit. That's what they are to believe. But you prolong poverty by ensuring that people cannot provide for themselves. That's what Obama's doing here. More and more Americans are going to be forced to admit who they elected. More and more Americans are going to be forced to understand what this man's plans for the country are. He is not interested in getting people off the welfare rolls. Don't forget, this is the guy who last week gutted the work requirements in welfare reform. Now, work is how you get out of poverty, folks. Work is step one to getting out of poverty. And Obama gutted the work requirements for welfare. Now, he's extending food stamps to a Macon community in this country and using the Macon government to help advertise. So you'll turn on television on a Mexico, and you'll probably hear it, if you're planning on going to the United States. Once you get there, here's how you get food stamps. And at the end of the commercial, I'm Barack Obama on behalf of the USDA, and I wrote and approved this message. So the message is Obama wants you. If you come, here's your food stamps. The partnership signed by former USDA Secretary Ann Veneman and Mexican Secretary of Foreign Affairs Luis Ernesto Derbez Bautista sees to it that the Mexican Embassy and Mexican consulates in America provide USDA Nutrition Assistance Program information to Mexican Americans. The goal for the USDA is to get rid of what they see as enrollment obstacles and increase access among potentially eligible populations by working with arms of the Mexican government in America. Benefits are not guaranteed or provided under the program, just the purpose is outreach and education. The outreach, the education is learn how to qualify. Some of the materials that the USDA encourages the Mexican government to use to educate and promote the benefit programs are available free, online, for order and download. A partial list of materials include English and Spanish brochures entitled 5 Easy Steps to SNAP Benefits, How to Get Food Help, a consumer's guide to food stamp programs, Ending Hunger, Improving Nutrition, Combating Obesity, and posters with slogans like Food Stamps Make America Stronger. Yeah, it's right. There are posters that are going to be out there. And as a Food Stamps Make America Stronger. When asked for details and to elaborate on the program, the Obama USDA stressed, hey, this was established in 2004. It's not meant for illegals. It's meant for people already here who are starving. The partnership with the Mexican Embassy was established in 2004, according to USDA spokesman telling the Daily Caller in an email. USDA doesn't perform outreach to immigrants that are undocumented and therefore not eligible for food stamps. Jeff Sessions, Alabama senator, sent a letter to the Ag Secretary Tom Vilsack demanding more answers and documents pertaining to the partnership. But what more do you need to know? It's the EIB Network in El Rushbo, and we will be back right after this.